getting it, fellas. Look here.
Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Joy Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the power band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies!
Wow.
Welcome to the show, folks. I forgot how to do the intro.
I'm your host.
I'm your host, the Mulverine. I'm your host, Kevin, also known as the Mulverine, along with my super companions, Ben, also known as Jar Higo.
Do it. Bacardi and Cola, do it.
Yes. And Chad, also known as C-Lab forever.
What's up?
Sup? Think I want some dinkle. Do it. Oh, that's a sweet little pucka. That's right, folks. We're doing the 2004, I think it's a classic, comedy classic now, film entitled Starsky and Hutch by Todd Phillips, starring Owen Wilson, Ben Stiller, and basically everybody. Let's start the show. High level.
Basically everybody. So
Basically
true.
everybody.
What the fuck do you like about this movie?
Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
Nothing. This movie was terrible.
What?
Dude, I'd rather watch Airborne twice and then backwards.
Wow, that is a strong statement, friend.
Holy shit. Really?
Yeah, dude. I did not give a fuck. I remember this movie. I've only ever watched this movie one time, and it was in the theater. And I remember, like, I had a flashback halfway through this viewing where I remember myself walking out of the theater on Nantucket being like, I will never watch that movie again. And my flashback here was like, you were right, sir. So, yeah.
Interesting.
I just couldn't give a flying fuck about it.
So you literally never watched it again until now.
And maybe that's it. Maybe it's like you need to watch. Maybe it's like an album where you need to listen to the album a dozen times to kind of get in the groove of it or something. And like that's me being fucking generous here, but I don't know. I just don't. It didn't vibe with me at all.
Do you have any familiarity with the source material?
No.
Yeah, that may be part of the problem.
I have zero familiarity with the source material.
Yeah.
All right, that's okay.
Do you have general objections to Ben Stiller stuff or
Nah.
Owen Wilson stuff? Or
I mean, maybe nowadays.
like, did you like Zoolander?
I did like Zoolander. At the time, I liked Zoolander.
Okay.
I liked Zoolander before Zoolander liked Zoolander.
Nice.
And I don't know. I definitely like had a period of time where Ben Stiller comedies were my jam and like Will Ferrell comedies were my jam and they had their place and, you know, comedies moved on and whatever. So I have a lot less patience for new shit in this vibe. But yeah, maybe it's just the lack of source material knowledge here because I just, didn't care.
Could be.
Because I love like Mystery Men. I love Zoolander. I can't think of any other Ben Stiller stuff.
What about like Dodgeball and Old School and shit?
Old School was good. I haven't seen it very many times. Dodgeball, I don't really recall overly well, but like I don't think I had objections to it. But I don't know. For some reason, this one just kind of, I don't know. It just kind of like, I want to say it was boring, but clearly I wasn't in a great headspace. Clearly.
It was tickling your hatred nerve.
But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how important the source material is, but I guess just being familiar with the fact with it in some respects,
Yeah.
you know, just like the cheesy plot and whatnot would really, you know, wouldn't be far off from something that would happen in the show, right?
Yes.
Was the original show meant to be a comedy or was it meant to be like serious, but it was funny because it was silly?
I don't know. It's a 70s cop show, you know?
Yeah. But like, was it intended to be a comedy or was it like not necessarily intended to be a comedy, but society at large found it funny because of how cheesedick it was? Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to say the answer is no. At the time when it came out, it was intended to be like, you know, a cop show.
Okay.
It was not funny. It was not intended that way, right? This was like a serious...
I mean, there were some like chips like, you know, ribbing and banter and such, right?
Sure. But at the time, like all like little things like that were considered, you know, just that, like ribbing and banter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like that was like, you know, sprinkles on like a serious show, which is pretty much what Chips was too, you know?
Yeah.
Were you vibing on it, Benny?
This is like the third time I've seen it.
Oh my God.
It's not my favorite movie in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know. I enjoyed this watching.
We have another airborne on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
No, dude, we don't have another airborne on our hands.
No way.
No. Not even fucking close.
The devil's backbone, bro.
Listen, okay, so I didn't watch the show in the 70s. I definitely watched it in the 80s. And, you know, like, I thought it was cool as hell, man. Starsky and Hutch and that car and the single red police light on the top. It was super cool. Cut to 2004. This movie comes out, right? And I'm like, all right, this will be good. So I go to the movie theater in Nantucket, and I was so exhausted. I fell asleep during the movie and slept in the theater through pretty much the entire thing. I thought it was terrible. I was like, this sucks. It sucks some more. And that was that. I was like, you know, what a disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Then I watched it. I don't know what prompted me to watch it again, like a couple of years later. And I was like, man, this is pretty funny. And I watched it again and again. And now I've watched it about a zillion times. I think it's brilliant. I think it's hysterical. I think that they were trying to do like a half piss take, half serious movie. And I think that they really did a good job with this movie. Like Todd Phillips really dialed it in, and everybody that was in it really dialed it in. And I think it was brilliant. And I think it's great. It's funny as hell. There's a lot of quotability here. And yeah, it's just great, man. I love it. I could have watched this 3 times this week. No problemo. No
Really?
way, Jose. Yeah, man. For real. It's that good.
Okay. I'm glad you like it.
Wow.
I'm glad. I am glad, but
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, like I had the same reaction that you did when you saw it in theater. You know what I mean? But then here we are. Like I watched it again, and then I started to. I think this movie was kind of like a bit of a sleeper, maybe. I don't know what to call it, but it really wasn't until I watched it a few times that I really kind of like got what was so sharp about it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So while I totally can see where you're coming from, Chad, 100%, because I was there, like I've switched over to the dark side, and now I love this film.
You got the high ground.
Wow.
I guess I do, man.
That's a couple
you know,
of Star
so
Wars deaths.
yeah, let's jot that down. So, you know, that being said, like it's like they made a story. Like I don't know, it's hard to explain. I think Ben kind of gets what I'm saying. Like it's like a really fine line that they walk between making it a piss take and a comedy, and then having like all of the elements that made the 70s great and making the 70s TV show great. And they somehow made that work in this, you know? And it's like, I don't know, if you went too far in either direction, I think it would have sucked more, whatever, however you want to classify it. But I think that's what is the sort of killer combo of this movie.
Yeah, I'll grant you that it does balance the piss take versus serious reasonably well. And that if you went a little bit in either direction, it probably would have fallen apart. I'll definitely grant that to you.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, like the cars are like totally period perfect. Like the clothes are period perfect. Like so many things are just exactly period perfect. You know, like so you're there. You know, it takes place in 75. Like you're there in 1975. You know what I mean? Like everything, the cars, the clothes, like the technology, man. You know, it's just like great. And I guess there's some nostalgia there too, like seeing all of that old stuff again. But
The disco club.
yeah, the disco club, and like, you know, just I don't know, like Ben Stiller's kind of like piss takey kind of impression on Paul Michael Glaser is freaking great, I think, you know?
Yeah.
The perm and like the way he runs and like just like he puts so much energy into it. It's like the way he moves, all the mannerisms and like all of that stuff. Like it's really, really sharp like that.
Yeah, Stiller's really, really good in this. Yeah, I don't know, Chad. I could see being like, nah, I don't know if I can see active hatred towards this.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I was just looking at Stiller's IMDb a bit, and so I'll take an ejection, but like
Done.
it kind of feels like this is kind of the beginning of the end of the era for this type of movie, you know? Because he had Zoolander, Tenenbaums, and Mystery Men. And they kind of all were of a certain vein. And then this came along and it kind of all fell apart until Tropic Thunder. So maybe it was just like a bit of Stiller fatigue. Like, I don't know. I found Will Ferrell annoying in this. I just like, I don't give a fuck, Will Ferrell, you know? I don't give a fuck about your dragon growls. Maybe I'm just sick of
I think you're sick of like
this era of comedy,
people.
Maybe. You know?
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of respect for all these comedic actors, and they really like were hitting home runs at a certain period of time. But I just like, I don't know. I just don't have a whole lot of nostalgia for that particular period.
That's weird. I would have thought the opposite.
You would think, but
You would think.
you would. I mean, I'm as immature as the next asshole, but
Sure.
I just I just didn't find it overly funny. I liked the chemistry between Wilson and Stiller, you know, like they played off each other quite well. Super campy.
Yeah. I feel what you're saying. I kind of think like, I don't know, this group of people, like, I don't know, I hated when people started calling them the frat pack. Like, that really irritated me. But, you know, they all worked together on a lot of movies, like Dodgeball, Old School, Wedding Crashers, like, you know, the list goes on, man. I feel like Wedding Crashers was when it was kind of like the one of the final ones. I know that Internship movie with Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn was just dreadful, man.
I believe you.
What's that?
That's one of those kind of movies that you get like stuck on an airplane and you're like, fine, and you watch it and then you're just like, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, you just want to rip your eyelids off. Totally. It was really, really bad, like cringeworthy bad, you know, like that was when I was like, it's over, you know?
Yeah.
Like those types of comedies are over and that era is over and all of that stuff. So I don't know, like Anchorman, you know, like some of those movies were just, they're brilliant. They're really funny, man, with all of those people in them. And I think that this is one of them. I get where you're coming from. And I think that you probably were just tired of movies like that, man, you know, like, and quite possibly sick of some of those actors, you know. I mean, we've seen them for 10, 15 years, you know, and a lot of those movies doing the same shtick over and over again. So depending on the person.
Yeah.
You know, Ben Stiller's kind of like that. So I don't know, man. I think that's it. Like a lot of times, like on this show, you know, one of us is like, just it hits the movie at the wrong time. Like even the older movies, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we watched it at a certain time when it just became part of our DNA. And then like, you're like, you know, you watched it 5 years later or 10 years later, it just didn't have the same effect. You know what I mean? And so I think timing really is key.
Yeah, I totally buy that.
You know what I mean? But I think like, I don't know why I was prompted to give this a second chance, but I did. And it was still back in that era, that early 2000s era, mid 2000s era. And I don't know, I just see the brilliance of the film and I think it's great. To me, it's like the hors d'oeuvre to the 70s and the show and like how they walk the fine line between the two. I think is what makes this so brilliant. Like they really put a lot of energy into like recreating the 70s. And I think that's part of what makes it great. You know, it's kind of like a Black Dynamite in a lot of ways. Like Black Dynamite really went just totally over the top recreating like the 70s blaxploitation movies. And that is a brilliant movie as well, you know, maybe even better than this one in terms of the quality of what's going on. But, you know, it's a similar kind of idea. And I think that's what's great about it. You know, and the jokes are good and the writing's good and, you know, freaking cast is great. It's like, who isn't in this movie?
Wow, who isn't in this movie?
Who isn't in this movie? Who doesn't want to talk about this movie?
I'm just making space.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's the source material and the fact that this takes place in the 70s that kind of cements it for me and makes it more enjoyable. There are definitely a lot of movies from this era that I just don't ever really want to see again. You know, Will Ferrell's great on Saturday Night Live, I think, but kind of has a tendency to rub me the wrong way after so much exposure.
Yeah. I think he feels that way.
So like, you know, feature length movies can be a little much sometimes. Would you guys put Walk Hard in that category?
Probably.
Of what? Too much exposure?
Of that era of comedy.
Yeah, I would.
From what I've heard, it's like an excellent piss take on the biopic. I don't know if I've seen it. I might have. I've heard it's great, but I definitely feels like it's in that genre.
I don't know. Actually, Ben, I think I take that back. I wouldn't put it in the same like group as those other movies. I think it's in like the group of like super spoof, like either biopic, documentary, like not another teen movie, Airplane, like that kind of goofiness. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, people get cut in half, and it's like you can tell they're like buried up to their chest. You know, like nonsense. It's just silliness. You know what I mean?
Yes, I would have to say that I definitely agree. But just the fact that it was sort of like had some of the same players, and
yes,
you know, it was in a similar time frame. Like,
no doubt.
Just as a sort of reference, you know.
I'm probably wrong here, but I feel like this era was a huge pendulum swing towards the improv stuff. From what I understand, with like the Will Ferrells of the world and whatnot, they just like did tons of improv shit and rolled the camera, and that's where a lot of the gold came from.
Definitely.
So I kind of feel like that was one of the major underpinnings of this era, is it was like maybe just more improv than usual, and you end up with the Anchorman style quotability and stuff. And through that lens, I think Walk Hard probably fits the bill, but it is a little bit of a outlier just being a biopic mistake. There was an old show on the Independent Film Channel called what the fuck was it called? I can't actually remember what it was called, but it was Jon Favreau having people at a round table. It might have even just been called Round Table, and it was just like they would have dinner, and it would be people like Will Ferrell and whatever, Juliette Lewis and other people just sitting around a table shooting the shit about the industry. And Will Ferrell was on it, and like he was just like the chillest, not funniest dude ever.
Yeah.
And it's like his caricatures in these movies is just so not him that he's doing like a new movie with, I think it's Kristen Wiig, that's like a Hallmark movie, like, and it's actually like a serious murder mystery kind of, you know, cute babysitter falls in love with Will Ferrell, the husband, and it looks so bad, but like I from what I've heard, he's just so sick of playing the same shit too that he wants to change it up. So from what I understand, even he's kind of sick of this era of silly comedy. So I don't know. It kind of doesn't surprise me in a way.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either. I think I feel like part of what's great about him is that he knew when it was too much and just stopped. You know, like, and if you've ever seen I haven't seen Stranger Than Fiction, but like if you see Everything Must Go.
Never heard of it.
You ought to watch that. That's like a serious movie with Will Ferrell in it. He plays an alcoholic who like loses everything, gets kicked out of the house. Just basically his wife like puts everything on the lawn and locks him out of the house, and then he like, you know, has to have like a huge tag sale to get rid of everything, and like, you know, wrestles with like his addiction and all of that stuff. It's really good, man. And not like no goofy bullshit. I mean, there's funny moments in it, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of really like heartfelt stuff in there, you know, and it's like it really showcases what he can really do. You know what I mean? As a performer.
Yeah, I thought he was good in Stranger Than Fiction. I don't know if I've seen the one that you were talking about, Kev, but you know, Stranger Than Fiction was definitely sort of a departure, more of a serious role, and
exactly.
It was good.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's kind of like a Sandler sort of thing.
Punch Drunk Love or something.
Or Carrie for that
matter.
matter.
It was like his, it's kind of like his like Uncut Gems or like Punch Drunk Love, you know?
Yeah.
But I think he's, you know, no guff on Sandler. He's done a lot of great stuff. Like, I think Will Ferrell's probably got more range as an actor than Sandler. Well, I don't know if I should even say that after especially after Uncut Gems. But at any rate.
Yeah, maybe that's where I'm at here. And like, I know this is kind of like fucking get over yourself, but like, I kind of rather watch a lot of these actors in some of their better roles, you know, like Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson. Like everybody in this has other roles where they've just like fucking done really great jobs. And the ensemble, this is fun, this is silly, it was a lot of fun to make this movie kind of thing, like just doesn't get me going that much anymore.
Yeah, right on, man. I get what you're saying. I think, again, like timing is key here. Like you never watched the original show. So
and I wasn't alive in the 70s.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like for me to watch the movie, I was like, oh, dude, because like the show was like awesome. Like I remember it from like when I was a little kid being like, dude, police cars. Whoa.
If I was 5 years old in 1980, I would have been all over the police shows and Dukes of Hazzard and shit, but I wasn't,
Yeah, exactly, man. So like, there's a different connection there for sure. I mean, this movie didn't to your point, like this movie sort of has like a mixed kind of reception from like the general public. Like, some people rated it really highly. Some people were like, sometimes it was a 6 out of 10. Ben Stiller got the Golden Raspberry Award nomination for this movie. So yeah. I didn't even really realize that. I didn't know it.
That kind of just says he did a good job.
A Golden Raspberry nomination for worst actor.
Of any role where you want to get the Golden Raspberry, it'd be this, I would think. Like, the whole point is to act it poorly, in a way.
Well, yeah, no, that's exactly right. I think you're exactly right. So, like, the point was to, like, do it bad, like the 70s. I think part of what the thing is with this movie is that people didn't get it. And maybe they didn't get what they were trying to do with this movie. You know what I mean? Because it's definitely not a remake or like a reboot or a relaunch or anything like that. It's really a horsed over to the original show and the 70s in general. Like, that's how I see it, And so, like, some of the comedy just comes through the lines and the writing, and then other comedy just comes from, like, the period and the goofiness of TV back then and, things of that nature. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you watch those old shows now and they actually are kind of funny.
Yeah,
exactly.
You watch them and you're not like riveted in, the action and the plot. Like, you're kind of like having a laugh about it because it's cheesy and silly. And this movie basically just does that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole idea, I think.
Exactly right.
So I don't know. I like that. I definitely have a connection to shows like Starsky and Hutch.
Yes.
And seeing something like this that's sort of like a self-aware, piss take on the whole thing is good. It doesn't have to be comedy gold writing. It just has to be cheesy and kind of silly,
Mm-hmm.
Well, exactly right, man. Which is what it is, and the level of detail about like, kind of being a horsed over to the 70s. It's just like, like when they do the montage and like when they're like going around town, like shaking everybody down, it's like,
yeah,
the whole like, taking the dude and slamming him up against the chain link fence, like driving through the alleys with empty boxes flying everywhere. Like that stuff is so the 70s and the 80s, like those are the kinds of like ridiculous things like they would do in those cop shows that at the time were cool. But, like a few years later or 10 years later, you'd watch them. You'd be like, this is so ridiculous. Like, it's so obvious. Like these boxes are empty or whatever. Like, and they really went like on a super deep dive on like little details like that. I think that's what's so brilliant about it. But, if you didn't watch the original show or a lot of shows like that or shows from the era, you're not going to appreciate it. It's as simple as that.
I agree.
I get it.
Boy, this is a great conversation.
Yeah, this really is a great conversation. Hey, let's make a podcast about these conversations that we have, but not this conversation, because this conversation is terrible. I think this is good. I like these shows like this because there's like, it's a comedy movie, but clearly nobody's happy.
Yeah.
So it makes for, you have to go like, cerebral on these, you know what I mean?
No, I totally agree with both of you guys here because, like, you're not going to get a cast like this and you're not going to get Todd Phillips involved unless they try and do these subtle nods to the era, Like,
yes.
I definitely feel like they took it seriously. I definitely, in the sense of, like, seriously, they cared enough to take the piss in the right way. And I think your box blowing in the alleyway, chain link fence smashing kind of examples are good examples where, like, they thought about it a lot. They really spent a lot of time thinking about how they could tell this cheese dicky story in the most cheese dicky way possible. And I don't know. I'm coming around to the like turning down the actor of hatred knob here, but
Nice.
I still think there's a missing piece for me, and which is just the era stuff with the nostalgia of the era. So like, there's no point in dwelling on that topic because we've kind of beat that to death. But
well, fine, but like, I'm not.
You're right. We've beat it to death.
Yes, we have.
I mean, there's certain. I guess there's certain things that we've done, and I'm just like, I can't understand how one of you doesn't like get this or like this or whatever. But this, like, I totally get where you're coming from, and I totally respect that. You know what I mean? It's like it's in the nuance and it's in the details. And I think like the general public at large didn't get it. It was one of those movies. And we've done other movies like that. Like when you go to look on Amazon for the reviews of a film, like when you see like all 1 stars and all 5 stars, like that always tells me that people didn't get it. Like the people that got it really got it, and then the other people just didn't get it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I think that people didn't see the nuance and get all of that stuff. Like, the music is like so the 70s, and it's just a great soundtrack mixed in with like some really great 70s tracks, and there's a couple of like great old nods in there, like the Easy Rider bit with the bikes, and stuff like that. But like, just like the old clunky bulky gear and the reel-to-reel tape and like the cheesy, like, giant, like, handheld tape recorder with the cheesy plastic mic on a wire that comes out from it, like all that stuff, man. They had everything, and it was just awesome, man.
And then typewriters, smashing the typewriter to do their reports and shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then like Stiller, again, like he really doubled down on like taking what Paul Michael Glaser did in the original show, and then and like other actors and other cop shows of the time, and like really kind of doing a lot of the same things, but then also taking him up like a notch and a half. Like when he's like, "Here, you want my badge?" and the captain just takes it. He's like, "Fine," or like when he's like, "Oh, come on, Cap," and he throws the chair across the room, just like stuff like that. It's just great, man. The whole thing of like Manetti, you know what I mean? Like there were so many shows where there was like another member of the group or the force or the company that was like, always trying to needle on the guy that was the main character, like that's totally what Manetti and Chris Penn are all about, and like, I mean, I don't know. I love all of that stuff. Like, they're constantly at it. But in this, they took it like a step farther by making Starsky and Hutch like kind of these dopey goofballs at the same time of being these like quote great cops. I don't know. Like again, that's the line that they walked so perfectly in this movie.
The guys that wore the hand towels.
Totally. Well, here's a great nugget. That's actually from that scene was inspired by a poster of the show from the 70s where they are wearing like their holsters and they're wearing short like hand towels in the poster. Like legit.
Dude, Chris Penn was so perfectly cast in this as Manetti. He's such a fucking dickhead. I love him.
He's great. But like the whole idea of like, when he like gets on the walkie-talkie, he's like, "We got 2 perps."
The walkie-talkie.
2 perps robbing a gumball machine. Starsky like jumps out of the chair, like run out the building. You know what I mean? Just like stuff like that was great because Starsky was always like the straight-laced dude, and Hutchinson was always like the kind of cool laid-back dude, more laid-back dude, So like they, again, like really kind of enhanced that bit in the movie. It was great.
I dig it.
So nuggets.
But you know who makes this movie? If you really want to know who makes this movie, though, it's definitely got to be Carmen Electra.
In what way?
In no way. I just was like, oh yeah, Carmen Electra was a person alive in that era, right? Hi, Carmen Electra. She's such a like nothing burger of a human. It's so funny.
Nothing burger of a human. Wow.
I mean, like it's a super dick thing to say, but like,
it is.
Am I wrong?
Okay.
Like she was just fucking slab of meat in the 90s. Like it was just like, I don't know. I just have so little respect for that woman, I guess. I don't know.
What I think vapid's probably the better word.
There you go.
As in not contributing anything to anything, maybe, but I don't know. She's like, what I don't really, where did her fame come from? That's what I never understood.
Maybe that's where I'm getting at.
I think that is the problem. because I have the similar problem. Like, I mean, she's a good-looking woman. There's no question about that. You know,
Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong, right? But like, where did her fame come from? She's like one of those people, kind of like the Cardassians. You know, it's like,
Was she like?
they were just regular people, and then they met Gul Dukat, and all of a sudden they're famous, and they got a TV show.
Isn't she married to Dave Navarro?
And Dennis Rodman, I
Is
think.
she really?
I think so.
Oh, maybe it was Dennis Rodman, dude.
It was probably both of them. She's just like the quintessential MTV spring break fucking wet t-shirt contest stage announcer, you know? And it was just like she
Totally,
was
dude.
famous because she was on MTV and teenage boys watched it. Like that was why she was famous.
It's so right on the nuggets, dude.
She was kind of like the first reality kind of star. I think your Kardashian thing was on the money too. Like, I don't know. I'm sure she's a nice person or there's something good there, but I'm completely aware I'm being a prick here, but I just don't.
It's okay.
I don't
man.
vibe with
I think
her,
we're gonna have to go there a little bit because like she's definitely kind of like in that same category as like Erik Nies and like
Erik fucking Nies.
I'm trying to think who else is like that.
Dude, Pauly Shore's Pinky's got more
The
talent.
Grind, yo. You know what was the show called?
The Grind.
No, the other one that he started on was the reality show, the original reality show.
Was it The Real World?
God, the real world.
Yeah, Real World, exactly.
Oh,
Like the original Real World.
True story.
This is what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, Erik Nies. It's just
Yeah,
that
exactly.
era of MTV was just fucking mind-blowing.
In what sense?
And I
man?
totally bought into it, man. I was so into it.
I was too, but like, what do you mean? What was?
MTV's fucking Spring Break and The Grind. Like, The Grind is the dumbest thing anyone has ever
Ever.
thought of.
It's terrible. It is so terrible.
We'll
Like,
have good-looking people dancing in a catwalk warehouse for 30 minutes. It's like, how is that good TV, dude?
yeah, with Erik Nies shirtless
Mm-hmm.
and wearing a beanie. You know what I mean? What? It's true, dude.
It's totally true.
We need to throw in some. We're gonna have to throw in some chapter artwork here for some of this stuff.
But you take the Carmen Electra factor and then you compare it to Amy Smart. Like, Amy Smart just seemed, I don't know, she's like such a wholesome, I don't know, adorable character in this, if that makes sense. You're just like, oh yeah, like that's, I get it. The cheerleadery, bubbly, bullshitty kind of 70s thing. And then just Carmen Electra, you're just like, I just get like real world flashbacks and MTV Spring Break flashbacks.
No, I think you nailed it with like the hosting the wet t-shirt contest or whatever like that. That is it right there, right? But Amy Smart, on the other hand, is like a actual actress. Like she's a really good actress, you know? She's done a lot of really good stuff. And she's done some comedies too, you know? Like I think she's great. I've always loved her.
So if Carmen Electra happens to be a listener to the show, I'm sorry, Carmen, but you're welcome.
I'm sorry, you're welcome. .com.
.com.
.org. .org.
Anyway, I really dig your whole like, you know, assessment of Carmen
I
Electra.
hate Carmen Electra. Says Slab.
I don't get where she came from.
She was apparently a frequent model and Playboy. I think that's really.
No, that would do it.
Yeah. I was just looking at her Wikipedia, and apparently Prince discovered her and produced her first solo album, and then she started glamour modeling, and then she was in Playboy a bunch of times.
She has an album?
Oh.
That's what it said. I don't know
Yeah.
if anybody was listening to it, though.
Well, now I'm gonna.
Oh shit! I forgot she was in Baywatch, man.
Oh, yeah, that would do it
So
too.
that right there, dude. You know, Pam Anderson, Carmen Electra, Baywatch, boobs. You know, Hasselhoff.
The Hoff. Well, that's it. It's Hoff. Hoff did it. Hoff launched her. Hoff's chest hair launched her into the stratosphere.
Definitely, but it was Prince, and the whole thing with the album was like 93. Baywatch was 97, 98. So she was only on Baywatch for 2 years.
Oh, well, in that case.
Well, she wasn't a pillar of Baywatch, is what I'm saying. I cannot believe I'm saying all of this stuff.
What
dude.
was the
I'm proud to say I have never watched one episode of Baywatch.
Neither have I. Proudly.
Wolverine?
Not
It totally reminded me of the scene in Spy Game where like they're trying to negotiate the prison break with the Chinese guy, and he's just watching Baywatch in slow motion. He's like $83,000. And I'm just picturing you being like, yeah, but like season 4, episode 2 of Baywatch. I mean, she was in that one. That was pretty good, but going off the deep end on Baywatch, I love it.
I mean, you're picturing me as an Asian person?
Yeah, just
doing
like
that?
smoking cigarettes and being like 86,000. Yeah, okay, fine.
With some super weird hair? Totally.
Yeah. Well, there's that cul-de-sac. There's the Carmen Electra cul-de-sac over.
Oh, I thought we were just getting started, dude.
Let's keep going. First thing I thought when I saw Jason Bateman, Kev, was that this is the origin story for Marty from Ozark.
Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, I could totally see that. He's very similar, sort of. He's like the kind of goofy version of Marty.
He's got the creepiest little mustache in this.
Dude, this movie has a lot of great mustaches.
No doubt.
Fake mustaches.
Yeah, fake mustaches, Ben, but a lot of mustaches, and a lot of different varieties of stash.
Oh, no. A lot of mustaches, a lot of varieties of mustaches, but also just a lot of fake mustaches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
From the disguises.
The whole smorgasbord.
Oh, definitely, man. Who does your wig work? Yeah, so there's a lot of great stashes, man. You get some like Dancing Rick has like kind of like a thin, like a Gomez almost, and then you got like Ben Stiller has a pretty good, mop for sopping there mustache, and
Mop for sopping just sounds like an Austrian Nazi or something.
Mop for sopping. It's just like it's like one of those stashes. It's like long and thick, and it's like you could just sop up like a half a bowl of soup with it.
Is there like an umlaut over one of the O's? Or?
Yeah. You can get that extra sip of coffee.
It could be mop for sopping, dude. Let's meme that,
like
man.
The Gestapo,
Yeah, man. He was
mop for sopping.
He's the shill for the cinnamon rolls,
The mop for sopping Gestapo.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
It's just a little known town in Germany. Mop for sopping.
Yes, mop for sopping.
Mop for sopping.
Like, okay, so the people that listen to the show don't know this, but when the shit gets too thick for us here, the EBD crew, we have a secondary lair, and it is a full-on lair, and it is in the mountains in Germany, in a small town called Mopfersop.
Known for its funiculars and its tulips.
Would you like to share my marzipan choice? It just makes me think of like there's got to be like a real life ooter running around that fortress. No, don't touch it. I'm full of chocolate. Would you like a lick of my flavor bar?
That's great. Mustache.
Mop for sopping.
Mop for sopping. Yeah. There you have it, folks. Secondary lair in Mop for sopping, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's what Stiller's stash was like, Mop for sopping. And then, there was just a variety of stashes in this movie, and I was very happy to see that.
Yeah, man. You get the Snoop,
as a
too,
quick-
the traditional Snoop goat. Is it a goat?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Or is it a handlebar with a tickler on it?
I feel like it was a goat, no?
God, 90s goats. There was some serious 90s goat flashbacks. They were so popular. I think I even had a goat.
Oh, I definitely had a goat. I remember back in the 90s when that was like a thing.
Freaking dude from Clerks goat.
Yeah, there you go. Unrelated to anything we're talking about, it is Movember, Men's Health Month, folks.
Oh, yeah.
And many men are growing a stash in honor of celebrating men's health. I will be cutting my dumb beard that I am currently rocking into a stash on Monday.
Sick.
So I'm psyched. The stash is back. And even one of my kids was like, Dad, grow your mustache back. It was so cool. I was like, nice.
Grow a mustache.
Grow a mustache.
Vince Vaughn has a very cheesy mustache in this, don't you think?
He does, man.
Yeah, it's kind of like thin and anemic, but it works for his character. It matches his character, if you will.
I don't really get Vince Vaughn.
In what way, dude?
I don't know. Am I just being a sassy squirrel, or is he just kind of like got the one trick pony kind of thing?
I don't think so, man. I think he's done a lot of different stuff that was definitely interesting and cool. I think he got into like, I don't want to say a rut, but like, you know, he did a lot of movies like those movies that we spent so much time talking about back in the beginning of the episode. So I think he kind of like, people just started like knowing him for doing that stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe
Like,
I'm
if
just
you
like
watch,
comparing
like-
him a bit too much to Favs or something, you know, both of them coming up from Swingers.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's that and like Maid, you know, and then like, I don't know if you watch season 2 of True Detective
Nah,
on HBO. No,
I've seen the first one.
sorry. No, you don't want to watch it, or no, you haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it. I heard it wasn't that great, but yeah.
Yeah. I disagree. I thought it was really good. I think you ought to give it a watch. It's
Yeah,
worth
check
it
it
for
out.
sure. It's even that being quote bad is better than a lot of the other crap out on there on TV. So
Sure. I love the first
yeah,
season.
worth it. Yeah, the first season was incredible. I started watching the third one too. It's pretty good.
Cool. Maybe I'm just in a fucking sassy squirrel mood today or something. I'm just shitting on
that's fine,
everyone's
dude.
careers. I'm like, you guys all suck.
Yeah, well, whatever, dude. We're just gonna roll with it, yo.
Carmen Electra. Fuck you. I'm in my fucking baby's nursery with couch cushions around the place. I'm a success.
Yeah, go freaking host another wet T-shirt contest.
Yeah. That mime shit was really dumb, but the lead up to him shooting the horse through the garage was pretty funny.
Oh God,
Definitely.
shooting the pony.
It's pretty good. Totally forgot Juliette Lewis was in this.
I know. I forgot she was in it too, but like she's actually been a player in a lot of Todd Phillips movies, man.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, she was in Old School or maybe just 2, but yeah, she's been in a couple of them.
This is a ton of
That was
old
kinda-
school ad too. Okay, maybe a couple.
Okay, 2, but you know, I'm dumb, so that's okay. Well, let's have a look. Let's ask the old internet. I'm just going to go ahead and eject. Whoa, dude, there's a Starsky and Hutch video game. What?
Yeah, there was a video game.
For what?
PlayStation, PS2, Xbox, GameCube, Windows, and Game Boy Advance.
I had it for GameCube.
Yeah.
Came out around the same time, didn't it?
And features the original voice of Huggy Bear, Antonio Fargas.
There you go. What could that game possibly be like? It must be the worst fucking
I
game.
have no bloody clue, but it would be sweet to like make
To go
like
play
really
it in
cool.
an emulator and then do a show on it.
No, I was gonna say make like a really cool Starsky and Hutch game that's kind of like goofy
Yeah, like
and fun.
using the GTA engine or something.
Well, kind of, yeah. Like, you know, with like cool driving mechanics, and it's like, you know, so many boxes, empty boxes you can knock down.
Maybe the driving mechanic is that there's no gas pedal. There's just like floored or not at all.
Exactamundo. This is Zebra 3. We're on it.
He's still ejecting to read about whatever it was.
I don't know. What the hell is I ejecting about?
I don't
already
know.
forgot what it was.
The game?
Juliette Lewis and Todd Phillips.
Oh, Juliette Lewis in Todd Phillips movies.
That was totally worth ejecting for. That's the kind of thing where you pull the ejection strap, you fucking fly out of the top of the F-18 Hornet, and you're like, wait, what was I doing? And a $30 million aircraft just flies into the ground.
No, you fly into the canopy that popped off, and you just perish.
It's kind of like you were in the cockpit dogfighting the Ruskies in the Cold War, and there's like a fly in the cockpit with you, and you're like, fuck you, man, and you pop it. You pop the thing just to get the fly out of there. Like that's just kind of
There
where
you
we're
go.
at here.
Sure, yeah.
So did you find anything great about Juliette Lewis and Todd Phillips there, my friend?
Still working on that. Hang on.
Okay, yeah, we'll wait. It's so hard to believe that Todd Phillips goes old school, Starsky and Hutch, Hangover, Joker. Like it's just the most unlikely of things.
Wait. So, say it again. Old school Starsky and Hutch. What?
Hangover, Hangover Part 2, and then the Joker.
Yeah, I know. That is weird, right?
It's like the dude that did Chernobyl was the same, wasn't he? You guys watch that yet? It was fucking good.
Okay, I was right, actually. Did you guys ever see Due Date? It was a Todd Phillips movie. What?
Hey, wait a second. I totally was right. Yeah.
I was right. She was in Due Date with Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis.
What the fuck?
IMDb is so good.
You're such a tool. Wow, there was a Gem in the Holograms movie?
Dude, I'm fucking killing you. You're dead here.
There you go. Done.
Wait, what was Juliette? Did Todd Phillips direct it, or was Juliette Lewis in it?
Nice. Nope, not directed by Todd Phillips. Directed by John Chu, who also did Step Up 2, The Streets, Step Up 3D, Justin Bieber, Never Say Never, and Justin Bieber's Believe.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, he also did 2018's Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh.
Which I've never seen, but I know was a popular film.
It's kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait, he directed G.I. Joe Retaliation as well. And Now You See Me Too. Oh, my God. This is the biggest, waste of brain power episode we've ever done.
Oh.
I'm getting sucked into a gargantuan one vortex of freaking ejection black holes, man. Everything that I see, I'm like, dude.
You're floating in a 3-dimensional space where it's not a bookshelf, it's just a bunch of IMDb pages.
Kind of like that, yeah. In 5 dimensions, yes. 3 dimensions, rather.
And you're there with the Steve Jobs Jobs, the black turtleneck.
The ejection. Yes, the Steve Jobs tars. Jobs. Come on, Jobs.
Steve Jobs stars.
Just picture this fucking slab robot wearing a black turtleneck, and then there's 2 sweet New Balances on each of his little
totally
square
man.
feet.
And instead of the hands of the watch, I'm like, come on, Jobs, come on. How did I get on this whole John Chu thing, dude? Oh, Gem in the Holograms.
Gem in the Holograms.
Woo!
Pretty fucking far off from
You
where
having a
we're
fucking
supposed to be.
stronk over there, dude?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Juliette Lewis got me on a whole thing here.
Julia Lewis gets me on a whole thing often.
There you go. Anyway, she's been in
She's been in multiple Todd Phillips movies.
she's been in exactly 3 Todd Phillips movies, so I have been vindicated. Now we can finally move on.
Let's do that then,
Oh,
hey?
God, come on, Skype.
Oh, come on, Skype.
Come on, Skype, come on.
Come on, Skype. Come on. Yes.
Any better, Benny?
Just now it is.
Okay. Bake some bits and bobs?
Definitely. Bits and bobs and yeah. Okay, so Chad, you have none. Yep.
I'm like, oh, fuck, what, I like when they shot the horse.
That's so awful.
Carmen Electra and shooting the horse.
I like when they shot Carmen Electra. Japanese have been shot.
Totally. I hear Don's been shot. Okay, bits and bobs for real. Well, I've already said a lot of the extolled the virtues. Oh, I liked that Patton Oswalt was in this as the DJ in the disco club. He was great.
Yep. It just made me think of Aquaman's gills from The Boys.
Why?
Didn't he voice
Yes.
the Deep's gills or whatever?
He did.
Oh yeah! Wow.
When the Deep was having his mushroom trip.
That dude's had a rough trot last couple years. Fuck me.
Who?
Patton Oswalt.
Why?
His wife died, really suddenly or whatever. Just he won some big award and got an Emmy for something, and then a week later, his wife just fucking dropped dead. It was crazy. But that was a couple years back, and I guess he's doing better now. But some people have all the luck, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, he was just married in 2017, dude.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, a few years ago, his wife dropped dead, and then he's obviously found another partner, and he's doing well again.
Yeah, he's
But
remarried.
it was a
He's remarried now, or
dark
the
period.
woman that dropped?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
woman that
he's
passed was 2017 woman.
He's married now to a new partner, and his wife died a few years back.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But the wife that died, he met in 2017. As if you would even know the answer to that question. I don't even know why I keep asking it.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Well, you can just eject again if you want. I mean, I heard he was in a lot of Paul.
Dude, I'm already ejected.
Would you like me to Google that for you?
I heard he was in a lot of Todd Phillips movies.
I'm ejected in the sense of like I'm in that three-dimensional representation, bro. You know what I mean? Like I'm like permanently on ejection in this episode. Permaject.
You got any bits or boobs, Benny? Besides Carmen Electra's boobs?
Well, just staying in the disco club there, I thought Stiller's freaking out in the dance club was pretty funny, and the whole dance routine, etc.
The whole dance off was sweet.
Yeah,
I did enjoy the gag at the end where Stiller pulls out his gun. And he's like, "I'm a cop," and then Wilson takes him down. He's like, "It's all right, I'm a cop." They just out cop each other.
I also like the whole like introduction of each character. You know what I mean? Like it really,
right?
I don't know. It kind of like it set the stage for the movie. Like,
yeah, that's me in the tight jeans.
Exactly. That's me in the leather jacket and tight jeans. You see that guy? I hate him. You know what I mean? And like juxtaposing that with like, you know, Captain Dobie chewing him out, you know, and like Fred, oh my God, what is that actor's name? Fred Johnson? Fred Johnson is from freaking The Expanse. Holy shit.
You're having a goddamn meltdown today, bro. Fred Williamson.
I love it. I need some sleep. Yeah, Fred Williamson. Yeah. Thank you. Played
a
great,
good night to get some sleep.
He he played a great like chew him out kind of captain. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he's like, that purse had $11 in it or whatever. That's like great. Jumping off buildings and shit for $11. Oh, that's awesome, man. I really dug that whole like opening. It was great. Oh, how about the beach scene, dude, with him like massive like sweat pits, and he was wearing like those giant earphone cans with the antennas on them, dude. The radio. I remember those vaguely.
Those headsets would totally make a comeback if you made them now.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, doing the Karate Kid stuff under the boardwalk or whatever.
Yeah, totally, man.
I definitely got like Remo Williams vibes there a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean, under the boardwalk?
Just like dancing around in the sand, you know, doing the weird fucking tiptoe.
Yeah, with the
twinkle toes
jogging
thing.
Pants on.
Running around with Apollo.
Twinkle toes with the jogging pants.
You want to go watch the scene or?
Shut up, dude.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Yeah, the whole shower scene with Minetti and the hand towels and all that stuff was pretty good right there.
Yeah,
definitely. The whole like introduction of the two characters in Dobie's office, you know, with the whole like, you know, my perm's real, touch it. Why are you touching him? Like that whole thing was great.
I like that they missed the boat at the end and Huggy Bear ended up saving the day.
Yes, with the money and the car and all that, man.
I found you 9-9, bitch. Sorry.
When the originals show up with the new Torino at the end, you know, like you can see Paul Michael Glaser, like just the way he moves, like either Ben Stiller like totally nailed him, like copying like his mannerisms, or like he was sort of playing into it. I can't figure out which it was, but it was great.
I mean, Stiller is pretty good at the Tom Cruise thing. He's pretty good at imitating people.
Definitely, man. Yeah, the Tom Cruise thing, totally.
Mm-hmm.
Snoop Dogg was in this movie.
Dude, I don't know who you could have picked that was better to play Huggy Bear than Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, it's fair.
He's perfect, man.
I guess that was his actual car.
Yes, that's a wonderful nugget.
They couldn't find the car in the color that they wanted, and then Snoop Dogg's like, I have that car. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I love that, man. I also love like his two minions in his office, dude. Those guys were awesome, man.
Yeah, they were funny.
There was just like a lot of great like 70s dialogue like that, you know, jive talking shit.
The whole part where they go into Huggy Bear's office there, like, and it's the first time he meets Starsky, like all that shit was fucking hilarious.
Fucking great. The debate about the terrarium when they're like about to blow each other's heads off, you know, like all
I love that his two henchmen like just know they have the answers for everything.
Totally, they're like brainiacs.
Yeah.
Well, the best thing about that is that's pre-internet 70s, so it would have totally been those dudes sitting around reading Encyclopedia Britannicas or some shit.
Oh, definitely, man. So him shooting Corky's tail off and us shooting him in the ass ain't the same thing. Exactly. Cardi Cola, do it. I love how he's just like, he's such a little kid sometimes, the way he's just like, stop stealing my character. You know, like, get your own character.
Cardi and Cola, do it.
I can totally remember like doing that with like my friends or my brother when I was a kid.
Mm.
No, that's my character. You're just ripping me off.
Yeah, Store is pretty magnificent there with that like green suit and the the like white
skunk hair,
like Reed Richards white sideburns.
Yeah, Reed Richards on crack in the 70s, bro.
On the 70s, yeah.
All right, let's do the nuggets. Go ahead, Chad.
I got no nuggets.
Oh, you got no nuggets. Great.
Nah, you got any?
I do. Let me just consult IMDb.
Hang on, let me just open up IMDb.
Okay, my favorite nugget. All right.
This is the scene where we read the internet to our listeners.
My favorite nugget is that song, Don't Give Up on Us, Baby, was actually written and sung by David Soul, who played the original Ken Hutchinson. And it was recorded and released in 1977, 2 years after the show ended.
And he was picked up by Prince and went on to be an MTV
That's right.
grind.
Appeared in Playgirl several times.
And then later to host wet t-shirt contests where they used Sprite instead of water.
Mm-hmm.
Then he married Dennis Rodman.
And then he married Dennis Rodman. And they had a love child.
Mm-hmm.
And that love child
was Kim
was
Jong-il.
Kim Cardassian.
No, Kim Jong-il.
There you go. Kim Jong-il, who is...
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un.
Yo, I don't have any nuggets, but I definitely want to shout out the little kid with throwing the knives around. That was pretty funny.
Ooh, I got a nugget about that, Chad, that you will love.
Yeah?
Yeah, so originally Todd Phillips wanted it to be Ninja Stars, or as we call them on this show, Throwing Stars.
Throwing Stars.
Throwing Stars. But apparently, if you use, yes, apparently in the UK, if you have a scene with throwing stars in them, it's immediately like an 18+ rating.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't it? So they changed it, which I thought was cool.
Right. That's one of those really random edge case laws or whatever, rules, where you're like making a movie, you're balls deep in spending millions of dollars making a movie, and some dude comes in, he's like, yeah, so guys, the throwing stars thing, we can't do that because in the UK, you just be like, Jimmy, get the fuck out of here, man. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like, no.
Totally.
Right. That is a good nugget.
I like that one, yeah. Two other sort of like cast-related nuggets. Vince Vaughn was originally tapped to play Ken Hutchinson, which, no way.
Shit.
Yeah. And then the other thing was that Don Cheadle and Chris Rock were considered to play Huggy Bear.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope and nope.
Maybe Cheadle, maybe.
Maybe, but I mean, I love Cheadle, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, I love Cheadle too, man. But I don't know. Snoop's perfect. Like, he's so perfect.
pretty good.
You know. Anyway, yeah, that's all I got for nuggets.
Deaths.
I probably didn't record enough of them or half of them, but I do have some. And they are as such. Let's see. I feel like, Chad, you had a Star Wars death. No, we all had a Star Wars death. That was the first death. Then, Chad, you ejected. Then I had a death by you. Because I was being annoying about something. And then I had my Gargantua 1 black hole of ejection because I just kept ejecting upon ejecting upon ejecting.
You lost 10 years there. You're just crying in front of the monitor.
Exactly. And then I ejected into the 3-dimensional version of 5th dimensional space.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had I solidified my perm-ejection status after that with even more ejections. And then there was other shit in there too that I forgot to write down.
There you go.
Yeah. There you have it, folks.
What was the German town that we live in? Soppen, Moppen, or whatever.
Mop for Soppen.
Mop for Soppen. Ratings?
Okay. Ratings. Okay. I think I can sum this all up. Chad 1, Ben 6, Kev 20.
Close. I'm a 0.6.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Is that like the lowest ever?
No, this movie is better than 2014 Ninja Turtles starring Carmen, Electra's best friend, and Mom and Dad Save the World is better than this movie.
Mm.
And don't forget the Dirty Work has the eternal 0.0.
Oof.
So nothing will ever beat Dirty Work.
That was rough.
In honor of Norm Macdonald, it's a 0.
In honor of Norm, we rated your movie a terrible 0.
Well, you're close, Kev. I think I'm going to go with a 7 for this one. So
Okay, that's nice. That's a good rating.
And you're a 20, Kev?
Yeah, definitely an 11. I love this movie. I think it's brilliant. I've already said why, so I'm not going to traumatize Chad further with that. I just think it's great. It's funny. Go see it. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you don't like the movie, listen to our show, listen to my reasons why, then maybe go watch it. I don't know. Maybe fuck yourself.
Maybe go fuck yourself.
You can't go back to Mob for Soppin'.
Yeah, Mob for Soppin'. Such a great town. Yeah, there you have it, folks. Starsky and Hutch. And yay, that was fun. Chad Lab, what are we doing next week?
Mm-hmm.
How about we do Banana Way?
No Banana Way. Next week we're doing Banana Way, the fucking Mark Dacascos movie.
Banana Way doesn't have a name. The name is now Banana Way. What is it called? No Time to Die? The Bond movie?
The Capoeira movie, No Time to Die. I think so. And then, the other one is Only the Strong.
There you have it, folks. Banana Way. So thanks for joining us for Starsky and Hutch. And join us next week for Banana Way, starring Mark Dacascos.
Banana Way, Banana.
And that's it. You guys are awesome. Thanks for listening.
Starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Mark Dacascos.
No, Michelle Pfeiffer's not in that.
And Coolio.
We were so close.
We were. It's fucking
so
Chad's
close.
The fact that you combined Banana Way with Dangerous Minds.
That was the joke.
It's just so great.
I just picture Michelle Pfeiffer sitting backwards on a chair in slow motion.
Okay, all right. Well, that's going to wrap. Yeah, that's going to wrap up this week's episode.
Yeah,
folks, thanks.
Almost made it.
Almost made it.
Fucking me up. That's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you'd like to support the show, there's a number of great ways to do that. Rate us and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcast muffins. You can also tell a friend to check out the show. Word of mouth is incredibly powerful and incredibly important. Check us out on social media. We use the handle at EBD Podcast everywhere. We spend a lot of time on Instagram. Get down. Yo.
With your bad self.
With your bad self. Also, you can find the show notes. You can find the show notes for this episode in your podcast app of choice, or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/132. That's it. Thanks for joining us for Starsky, and we'll see you next week for
Dangerous Capoeira.
Dangerous Capoeira.
What is the movie actually called?
Kick Fighting with Barbara Dilbeck.
Directed by Todd Phillips, co-starring Juliette Lewis.
Woo! Only the strong. Stay classy, San Diego.
One for C-Lab, two for Troy, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Beady, beady, beady. Stop into it.
And if you're in and around the Hartford area this week, folks, you can see Jarhigo and myself alongside Coolio and Michelle Pfeiffer.
You taking Michelle and Coolio to the Stallone's concert?
We'll be appearing at the local Comic-Con. Oh, shit, that was stupid.